I want to start by thanking you and welcome you, Your Excellencies, Ministers, Ambassadors. It's a great honor that you have accepted our invitation on this morning. I also welcome the media, press, TV, and news agency, Petra. Thank you for coming. Today is one example, and it's only one drop of what UNDP has done in this country. And I would like, when we issue the press release, I would like of you, please, to give us a summary of the different, so that we say that this is only an example of what the UNDP has been doing, and so that we can make the community and everybody aware of the noble role that UNDP has done. And I want to thank you on this occasion for awarding me the trophy of the 50 years of the United Nations, especially that I received it in good company. His Excellency, the Ambassador of Canada, who is my ambassador, was also awarded for the great contributions of Canada. So it's a double recognition to be awarded by you and to be next to His Excellency, who's a great friend, and as he honors me always by calling me his uncle. I am very honored to be your friend and your uncle, and to be a citizen of Canada, of which I am very proud. And I can say very proud because it's wonderful that normally when you receive a citizenship, the government tells you that we honor you by giving you the citizenship. When I was inducted as a Canadian, the judge said, Canada is proud to have you as a citizen because we need people like you. This is so wonderful. It makes you feel so committed and so proud of being a country which tells you we are graciously and offer you. No, he said, we're very proud that you have become because this country needs you. So it gives you a sense of belongingness and a sense of great appreciation to the country. So I am also proud to be a Canadian citizen. I had to say this in the presence of my great friend here. Today we are signing, and I want to report also that the day before yesterday I was at the Royal Court with the President of the Royal Court, and we talked about the process of knowledge stations in this country. We started the concept of knowledge stations, which is the subject of today's meeting. We started the concept about 2 years ago. When Tariq Hon? 2 years ago? It started as a commitment I made to His Majesty to open 100 stations throughout Jordan, which we equipped and funded by Talal Abu-Ghazaleh organization. And we have delivered on that promise. And I think you have a list which shows that we have established the 100 stations in the country, which provide internet access, internet and computer training, and a connectivity to be able to get online certificates and qualifications from all over the world. So these are not just like the cafes, they are training and capacity building centers where anybody can access them. Free internet, there is no cost, no charge, because we have our own dedicated internet line, which we bought as a trunk directly to the backbone in the United States, and we don't go through an ISP provider, internet provider. So we have like a street, and you can walk with no charge. There is no charge of minutes or whatever, because we bought the dedicated line. In 2 weeks, we are going to announce a greater initiative with the European Union to build a dedicated line construct, which is already being constructed, to launch a dedicated line with Orange for universities, research, and other research institutions. This will be open to all universities in the Arab world, where students, before professors, can use it for doing their research. And it's like the Euromed, Connect research facility in Europe. And this we are doing jointly with the European Union. But today, as we're talking about stations, these are capacity building places where students and everybody can come use the internet for free. We have trainers to teach him how to use the internet intelligently, and also to be able to get qualifications in all fields related to business services. So we are very proud that we finished this. And based on this model, the Royal Court ordered that we take over the management of all the knowledge stations in the government. The Ministry of Telecommunication, for example, has 197 stations which are being delivered to us so that we can run them with the technology we developed. We have these knowledge stations are a patent which we developed for our use. So the 197 stations that the Ministry of Telecommunication was supposed to be operating will be under our management, in addition to another
60 for the higher youth council.
60 for the youth Majlis al-A'la lil-Shabab, the higher
Council of Youth. The Higher Council
Higher Council of Youth. They have 60 stations, which again, it was decided that we should take over their management. So all the knowledge stations in the country will be managed by Talal Abu-Ghazaleh Knowledge Stations. Today we want to thank UNDP for their generous offer to fund initially 10 stations belonging to the Ministry of Telecommunication. Our own 100 stations, we fund them ourselves. But the other stations are either funded by the government or by donors, and we are grateful to many other donors who have been generous in funding the government stations. But this is very significant, these 10 stations, which I think you selected them to be in different...
Irbid and Mafraq.
In Irbid and Al-Mafraq at your own request, which is great, because these stations are needed there badly. The USAID funded one station in Deir Allah, and Deir Allah is interesting because when the U.S. representative was speaking on the occasion, he pronounced it Dear Allah. So, so I said, since you're so close to Allah, I'm seeking your help. Please put in a word for me with Allah. Dear Allah, dear Allah, dear Allah. Anyway, today we are, and I already informed the Royal Court the day before yesterday about this generous donation by UNDP, which is only one of many others. But I wanted to give it particular significance so that we can encourage other donors, because if there is anything which is important to His Majesty, is capacity building. And this is exactly what UNDP is about, capacity building. So capacity building of the citizens of this country is the objective of today's meeting. And so we thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your donation. We thank you for your partnership. We are very proud of our relationship with you, and I'm very proud to be in the company of my friend, the Canadian ambassador, when I was awarded yesterday. That was to me a great. You should have told me that you're going to recognize the ambassador. I could have dressed better than what I was dressed yesterday. Thank you very much for coming, and I leave the floor to you.
I actually had a speech to read, but I am not going to read it since you have paraphrased and summarized these events very well today. I mean, I just need to add a little bit on it, that this is all about partnership. And what we are doing here today is an outreach between the private sector and UNDP, an initiative that we also launched together with your support and your organization, which I think is mushrooming, but we are expecting it to start bearing some fruits as we move ahead. The event today is symbolic. Symbolic in the sense that we are looking at a sector, youth, that is so critical for the development and advancement of Jordan. The partnership MoU we are about to sign is small but symbolic and should be a magnet to attract wider investment from the private sector and also other donors. This project initiative, however small it is, will rehabilitate and revamp 10 youth development centers and train the staff. It will put in place high-level courses in order to help youths to gain skills and capacity that will make them more competitive in the job market. It will set up e-learning classes to help youths to become familiar with the numerous opportunities available online, to help them learn more to create small, medium enterprises, and also connect young entrepreneurs with the seed funding opportunities from their small, middle-income enterprises. I mean, what else can we do that is so symbolic to start a small revolution of looking at this widespread unemployment among youths in Jordan? The figures are appalling. The last statistics I have on my table was over 70% of women graduating from universities don't have jobs. Yeah? And the mean average of youth employment is anywhere between 20–30%, depending on the statistics you look at. So today is quite symbolic from that perspective, and I really want to use this as a platform to attract other private sector engagement, to look at what we can do for youths and how we can start empowering youths to contribute productively to economic recovery in this country. And Mr. Talal Abu-Ghazaleh, that is the symbolic aspect of it. I will give my speech to the press to draw whatever they want to draw from it. But I really don't want to read the speech again today, right after you have paraphrased it so well, putting it in context, but rather to highlight this symbolic engagement that we are about to start. An engagement that is all designed to empower youths, an area that I am very, very, very concerned about in Jordan, and I'm hopeful that this type of initiatives will grow and we can reach out to more youths as we can. During the recent visit of the Secretary General and the President of the World Bank to Jordan, it became very clear to us that the World Bank wants to invest in human resources, which is the big potential of this country. And that investment is actually to increase the use of technology to enhance the quality of education in Jordan. And that is to me, is the productive base of this economy that is unfortunately not endowed like other economies around this country, around this region. So the human resources which the late King Hussein took as a priority for this country is something that we need to continue building on, and we should not allow it to fall. But it is being threatened, partly by the Syrian crisis, and partly also on the quality of learning that is currently taking place in schools. I can also tell you that the products we are getting cannot be gainfully productive in the short term. You have to spend a lot of time grooming them to become competitive. You know, this was not the Jordan we know. The people that come out of the education system in Jordan, which you all know around this table, we are people who can compete immediately at the highest level. But now we have a cadre of people that we really need to groom. We need to build their capacity before they can even start competing. That is the challenge. Absolutely. That is the challenge to us here. So whatever we can do through these youth centers to link them to technology, link them to appropriate online courses, to build their capacities and enable them to compete will be in the interest of this country. This aspect of rote learning, memorizing in schools to get 80%, is not related to the practical application of skills. So it's a challenge, it's a big challenge, and I always tell the macroeconomic planners of this country that please, the ambitions are big, but the productive base of this country is the human resources. We always have to look at it as a way we can revamp this economy. If it is going to be a diaspora economy, so be it. If the returns are going to come from the educated that are getting good jobs outside, so be it. If the productive carrying capacity of the economy is not big enough to reproduce itself in a sustainable way, we have to look for alternative economy. Dubai, they have realized that the oil is not going to last forever. They are working to create another big international service center. If Jordan can be a hub as a service center, why not invest in that line? But the human resources, we dictate whether in fact such an investment is going to be viable or not just the infrastructure, the 10 stories or 20-story buildings. This is not the issue here. It's the human resources. I worked in Erbil for some time. After the war eased out a little bit in Erbil, I saw infrastructure development at a rate. One day I talked to the Ministry of Planning. I was driving from my hotel to go to my office. There was a sewage that has burst somewhere. Everywhere in the street there was sewage. Yeah, because there was no structure to manage that investment. They were just building skyscrapers. Yeah. They needed to have structural engineers that would have thought about, one, sewage disposal system in that country when designing the skyscrapers. Because the money can build the skyscrapers in no time, but if the human resources is not there to think it intelligently, to make it a city that reproduces and manages itself, it will not be a productive investment. So I am really, really happy that we are starting this on a small scale, and we should be able to leverage international support in this regard, and again, try to put the youths at the center in this country, which I think is the resource domain of this country. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm not going to read this speech.
Thank you very much.
Give it to the press.
Thank you very much. But I want to, you inspired me with something. We have not yet approached the private sector for funding these stations which belong to the government. So maybe we should design a letter to the major businesses in this country, offering them the opportunity to name one of these centers in their name as sponsor. That is something we could do, and I'm sure we will find the interest on many of the benevolent businessmen. So we will do that, and we will continue to develop, because unfortunately these centers which were run by or supposed to be run by the government lack almost everything. Some of them do not have the equipment, they don't have the connectivity, they don't have, even some of them don't have electricity, etc. So we will need to, what we're offering is the technical management of these centers, and I count on the promise that these 10 are a start for UNDP also, and that we will, after you see their performance, we will be talking about other stations, inshallah. You want to add anything?
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. This is a beginning, and I'm happy to say this is a beginning. It's a real partnership between UNDP and TAG, in the sense that the operation and the sustainability is there and is ensured by TAG, and only the startup support is provided by UNDP. And this is very important, because we have seen a lot of projects that falter then without any sustainability. So for that, we really thank you. This is also in the framework of...
So please make note in the press release that this is only a beginning. I want to get this commitment.
خلاص. This is also in the framework of the 50th anniversary of UNDP globally and the 40th anniversary of UNDP in Jordan. And we're very, very proud that after yesterday we're starting this partnership, Your Excellency. Thank you very much. We look forward actually to extending this partnership, especially to Zarqa. And that was the discussion that we had with your staff, because that is also an area that is very important. For UNDP, we're starting in Irbid and Mafraq because these are the two governorates that are most impacted by the influx of the refugee crisis into the country. And we hope to extend it also to Zarqa. The new census looks at Zarqa as a place where there is also a lot of refugees, and then maybe Your Excellency was asking for us to also extend to Ma'an, so maybe we will move there.
Ma'an, we covered it. We have how many in Ma'an? We have already funded ourselves 4 in Ma'an. 4 stations, knowledge stations, and that's adequate. We have many other locations like Tafile that we need.
All over Jordan, yeah. We have all over Jordan. Now we need one in Tafile, new in Tafile, and the south mainly.
And we have one in Karak. We
covered all over Jordan.
We covered all, but we
Let's start and assess, Your Excellency,
okay.
And then we move forward.
Excellent. So may we sign? And we would welcome comments and advice from the dear friends, the ambassadors and media and friends. Please guide us with your wisdom and tell us if we're on the right track. We are now working with the European Union, I wanted to add, on workstations in the camp, Zatari camp, where we will be qualifying academically the refugees to get degrees, academic degrees, bachelor and masters, online while they are in the camp. Thank you.
Shukran.
Please. Here's USAID.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, allow me first to introduce myself. My name is Fadi Dawood. My official job is Deputy Chief of the Party of the USAID-funded Early Grade Reading and Math Project. But I'm also honored to be a member of the Economic Policies Development Forum under His Excellency's presidency. Congratulations on your 50th anniversary and for future successes. Allow me to share a testimony, more of a guidance or a comment on a personal and official level, actually, by witnessing really TAG's partnership representing really a model of private sector engagement and partnership with different sectors in Jordan, whether public sector or private sector or international missions, which represents His Excellency's personal and institutional commitment to youth development and capacity building and empowerment, in addition to a real partnership with the international missions and private sector and public sector. For example, His Excellency blessed last year launching an initiative that he honored me leading under the Economic Policies Development Forum only for youth, a dedicated youth initiative under the Economic Policies Development Forum, with the blessing also as a guest of honor Ahmed Hindawi, the United Nations Secretary General Envoy for Youth, which we launched last year. Until today, we have really accomplished so many activities across Jordan. Just yesterday, I came back from Ajloun for running an activity with the Ministry of Education, with King Abdullah Excellence School, providing capacity building for young kids in that school, and they were so happy and so honored to receive the certificate that has TAG's logo on, where they felt the appreciation. and they felt the commitment of private sector offering free capacity building programs. Another personal testimony I have, when I reached my friend Tariq Hamad, Executive Director under TAG, how we can serve my hometown, Fuhais, the youth club, that was really trying to be engaged more and engaged in a way or another. His Excellency offered generously, without any question, as long as youth related and it's general cause that serves the whole district of Fuhais and Mahas. Within less than a year, a TAG Knowledge Center and station was established, and a training course was developed, and young youth were handed certificate for a training course that immediately was. So the execution is immediate and right away, and that represents a testimony. And my project, as USAID funded Early Grade and Reading Math project, I was discussing also with my friend Talal, how come TAG can be a partner in this initiative under the Ministry of Education by encouraging reading, the way Dubai launched their own Arabic challenge and reading, and without any question he said, yes, we're on board, and just take the word from His Excellency saying, yes, we can do it. Where now we're developing a contest across Jordan to start from north to south, where TAG is offering the partnership and supporting USAID initiative and the Ministry of Education initiative in promoting the culture of reading to our common generation. Those are just few examples that I wanted really to share, because I witnessed a lot of partnerships, and I really value the commitment of private sector represented by His Excellency Dr. Talal Abu-Ghazaleh and his institution, where I'm part of what I'm seeing here and there. With UNDP, of course, it has been since a while where the UNDP Private Sector Partnership Forum also is a symbol and a model of partnership between private sector and UNDP. So congratulations for adding up on that line, on the successes, on the partnership, where it really needs to be a model for public-private partnership law and policy that the government is trying to implement, and really seeking guidance, where I guess you have the example and the model to set for PPP law in Jordan, how that can be run and how can that be handled. Congratulations, and wishing you all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and I want to thank you all, and I want to also reciprocate by saying how proud we are with our partnership with the USAID. USAID has been a great partner for us in many things that we are doing. So thank you.
Your Excellency, Talal Abu-Ghazaleh, representative of UNDP. I wanted to say how proud we are today to be here and witness this. I can definitely speak about the experiences that my team and I have had here in Jordan, in the region, for the past several years. And like Eddie has mentioned, many of these things have been paraphrased by now, and so I won't make my comments very long. But I do want to congratulate the leadership of UNDP for being so pragmatic and dignified in a very, very difficult situation, and bringing positive results to bear, and finding innovative ways of partnering with many different people, including private enterprise. And I must tell you that myself and my staff are big fans of partnerships with private enterprise, because much like I say to all of my staff, Canada is heavily involved in humanitarian aid, development assistance. Of course, because of the region, we're heavily involved as well in the military support aspect of the operations here. We're heavily involved diplomatically and politically. But why are we doing all of this if it doesn't add up to long-term, sustainable, positive economic activity that specifically addresses the issues that we see with youth and with the empowerment of women? This must be always aligned, and every day we show up at work, we must remember that what we do leads to this moment. This is what we do this for, and I want to commend you all for making this possible, and basically showing us the way and leading us through this. Jordan has been a leader in the region, and I'm hoping that these types of activities, these types of signatures and MOUs will lead to actually more. And especially from a private enterprise perspective, I'm sure you will find able partners out there, and especially if it's leveraged by the participation of UNDP, we'll see much more successes. So I want to take this opportunity to say congratulations and thank you so much for your leadership.
Thank you very much. With this, we close this session, and we are grateful to you all for participating, and we thank you for your support and for your